Hello, today I got for review yet another true wireless earbuds, and this time it's Tranya T20 or Tranya, not sure about the correct pronunciation. Brand is not super widely known, but in the past I reviewed their models and they showed a really good price to quality ratio, so I have a pretty high hopes for the T20. It's a relatively recently updated model with 6mm dynamic drivers, and they support SBC and AAC codecs. They have a low latency game mode and two sound modes, normal and bass boosted. Also, company stated good microphones quality, IPX7 sweat and splash proof, and also they have a pretty good battery lifetime, up to 8 hours from a single charge. I checked that, and that's close to truth, but of course it also depends on the volume as usual. So case also will give you up 4 to 5 additional charges, so in terms of battery long life they are pretty nice. And let's have a closer look. As you can see, case is pretty small, compact, minimalistic, with basic spec listed on the back side, so nothing fancy outside, but main values are held inside. So here is the manual. It's not the English one, second one is in English, and they even included instruction on cleaning the contact if something happened with charger, and it's pretty nice. And information how to reset them, frequency asked questions, and most interesting is touch controls. So they have play, pause, next, previous track, volume up, down, and I like when you can control volume from earpieces themselves. And as you can see, up to 5 taps on left and right earpiece to switch the sound modes. In the accessory set you'll get 2 sets of tips, 3 pair each. They have shorter stems, typical for the true wireless earbuds. Also case with earpieces themselves, and a USB Type-C charging cable. So nice basic accessory set. In terms of design, case is pretty compact, looks really slim and pocketable, so nice in terms of design. Here is the charging, it took up to 1 hour to fully charge the case, and a small LED indicator. It flips nicely, has good magnets, not that simple to operate with one hand, but after some usage you can find the proper position to open it or to drop it, of course, if you won't be careful, so it's better to use both hands anyway. And here are earpieces themselves. They have nice ergonomic shape, faceplates are made of fancy gloss plastic. Thanks to that compact size and nice shape, they fitting nicely into ears, providing even slightly above average sound isolation. For me they are really comfortable to wear. Design is simple, but it does its job well. As you can see, they have nice angled spouts, there is a lip for holding the tips and protective grille, so all that exterior aspects are made nicely. So here everything is done as you can expect. Here are LED indicators, microphones, taps recognized properly, so there won't be issues with controls for them. And they hold connection pretty well, up to 10 meters without big problems. Of course, if there is not much interference outside. Background noise is pretty low. Actually, you know, pretty nice designed and well operating true wireless model without any strong issues. Delays of sound is audible, but in game mode it's really hard to spot it, so it's also working. To summarize this part, in terms of all exterior stuff, they are done really well. And here is a traditional microphone test. I am recording this part of the video with earpieces in my ears, so microphones located on the positions where they will be in real life, and I won't apply any gain correction or equalization, and this part of the video will give you an idea of how the microphone sounds. And of course about the sound, here is my M11 that I use on the go. It's loaded with my track that I used for that, and I will show a few examples with help of this old faithful player. And first thing that I did after 5 minutes of listening, I disabled bass boost. I'm not sure why it's present here, or actually I have one idea. But even without bass boost, low frequencies here are pretty tight and impactful. Depth is good, of course it's limited by the lossy Bluetooth codecs, but in general deeper layers of bass are presented. Of course it's lacking a bit of the deepest bass, but it's just a limitation of Bluetooth True Wireless. Low frequencies have normal resolution, they are pretty tightful, impactful and forward. But at the same time they are controlled well and almost all time stay on at their place. I assume that bass boost here is presented for bass heads, or maybe for compensating low frequencies when you go on the street. As you probably know, low frequency noise penetrate earphones and passive noise isolation most easily, so low frequencies are first that lost on the street. So probably on the street that bass boost will be nice, but even without it, for me low frequencies here are more than enough, and they are even slightly above average in terms of impactfulness and quantity. As for quality, it's normal, it's a good dynamic drivers with proper resolution. Of course, don't expect some rich saturation with overtones and small nuances, but for the true wireless earphones and for the affordable segment, it's nice. It's pretty fun both with electronic music and with acoustic instruments, but of course for acoustic instruments you lack a bit of realism, but we don't speak about the audiophilia here. And first example that I'd like to show, it's Diablo Swing Orchestra Gunpowder Chant. I like this track because it starts with didgeridoo and it has really rich, really saturated low frequencies with a lot of layers and overtones, and these earphones surprisingly well show this track. So thanks to slightly boosted bass, it sounds even more fun than in real life. Mid frequencies are like normal, it's a dynamic driver, so don't expect some super high resolution, and of course Bluetooth codecs take their toll, but still you won't lose any meaningful details. Earphone sounds pretty musical, engaging with slightly boosted macro dynamics, but on the mid frequencies they don't have boosted weight, so that gives a nice sense of clarity and allows them to build a good stage slightly above average both in width and in depth, so it's a pretty good result for the true wireless model. And in general they are forgiving for the quality of records, but actually no buts, creating true wireless model that doesn't sound forgiving for the quality of records makes almost zero sense in my opinion. And upper mids build a really pleasant contrast with tight and impactful low frequencies, giving you nice sense of balancing between these two opposite things. And as an example, I will once again use Måneskin. Yep, I'm kind of fan of this band, and you know, I really hope that they won't lose that momentum they received last year. And as an example, I selected in Nome del Padre more of mix of hard rock and hip hop with almost rap-like rhyming, with forward aggressive vocals, with impactful drums, and this earphones sounds pretty pleasant with this track, thanks to tight low frequencies and normal resolution of the mid frequencies that allows you to hear the vocal pretty well. And the treble, like, it's a normal dynamic driver treble. Extension is about average or slightly below it, but it's also because of the codecs, of course. Resolution is normal, and the treble is slightly boosted to compensate low frequencies, but not too much, giving overall nice, well-balanced representation. And the attacks and decays are slightly on the slower side, so treble have a bit of additional weight, typical for the dynamic drivers. And as an example, I've got Rush, Heresy, nice track that I really like. Of course, to show the full potential, it requires wired connection and some more advanced model, but in general it sounds pretty pleasant, and thanks to the slightly accented treble, it plays cymbals and percussions fairly well. And as for comparisons, actually, to be honest, there were tons of models in this segment, but I can't recall anything except of FIO. What was that? Their index EW1. It's actually even reminds them a little bit in terms of shape, but FIO had a slightly more forward mids and slightly less treble, so it was more bass and mids accented. And also this model offers more boosted, more tight for low frequencies. So I won't try to recall anything else here, just because I don't remember that models well, and I don't have now for direct A/B comparison, but in general it's a pretty decent model with nice, well-balanced mass market sound that performs well and executed well. If you get some good discounts for this model, you can safely grab it. It's pretty good for daily commute, for some active usage, and so on. So thank you for listening, thank you for your attention, and of course have a nice day.